Last day of Interbike, finally squeezing in easy motion. I've stopped by the booth a couple times. Super excited about the updates. Like we got the Brose motor happening on some of the models. Tell me about 2017, man.
Sure. Come on over here. We'll start over here. We'll run you through some of the what we consider more of the meat and potato bikes.
Okay.
The stuff that's the day in, day out stuff for our dealers.
Some of this is looking familiar already, right?
But there's some stuff under the hood that's a little bit different.
Okay,
so,
cool.
You know, with our Evo Street model, which is really our #1 selling product in the line, 26-inch wheel bike.
Yeah.
We have bumped this up to 10.5 amps on the battery from 9.
And a little more range.
Yeah, a little more range, 500 watt hours.
And for those who don't know, like the Evo Street, the 26 inches he was talking about, that's the smaller wheel diameter. It means it's going to be even easier to kind of step over that frame. What's the price on this one, by the way, Greg?
So it's another big exciting point that we brought out for this year. It's down $100 at retail to $29.99.
$29.99, not bad.
More features, less cost. Don't be afraid.
Can't be mad at that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So and like you mentioned, size-wise, really for the rider that's 5'5" down, this is a great fit. 5'5" up, you have the kind of companion bike, so that would be the #1 seller. This would be #1A, if you will.
Yeah.
In the City Wave. So again, same treatment on the battery. Actually, a new rear hub motor.
Really? Are they still Dapu?
Still Dapu motor, but
really zippy.
Really zippy, and this new motor is even more zippy.
Cool.
And we've added and I'll show you right here on the City, a new thru-axle.
With like a full quick release. Because in the past you've had kind of the
ratchets. So this would be the 2016 setup. Here's your 2017. It makes it extremely easy to operate.
Is this 12 millimeter? Like 12, 142 kind of a?
The standard thru-axle setup. And then you have the external mounted battery cable. I mean your motor cable right here. So before it was actually coming out of the chainstay, which made it really tough sometimes to get that connection just right.
Yeah.
So when you combine the new routing of the motor cable with the thru-axle design, it makes it not only easy for the mechanics to service the bikes, but also for the end user to go ahead and fix a flat.
I gotta compliment the effort that's been made, not just on, I guess, the positioning of the cables, but it's sort of tucked back behind where the skewer would come out, and between that the disc brake rotor. So a lot of other electric bikes, some of the cheaper ones, the cable comes right out the side, and if the bike tips over, it's kind of vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So that's really nice touch.
On that same note, you'll notice where the rear disc brake caliper is tucked inside of the dropout between your seat stay, chainstay. Where the older design, it was sitting on the back.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. It's mounted like right onto that.
Yep. So on the Evo Cross and some non-racked bikes, again, the disc caliper is a little more vulnerable. Well, now we've got it tucked in.
And you painted, is this still a TMM4 sensor?
Yep.
Because it's black.
Yeah, and we've actually anodized the mounting for that. So the aluminum bracket that it's actually mounted in is now anodized to keep it a little bit more conspicuous, and it can continue with the really nice look and feel of the bike.
Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah. So you got a good eye. And a couple other little points on the new bikes. A brand new fender, an all metal fender. Wow,
it looks like aluminum maybe, yeah?
Yep, all aluminum fender.
Real slick.
And what we've done with this is really, it's an upgrade from the existing fender, the old fender nuts.
Yep.
Hey, they work great. You can kind of adjust the fender a little bit, but they would have a tendency to break if the bike fell over. So this will make it a little bit sleeker and a little more sturdy.
Nice, man.
You'll notice the traditional headlight mount we've had. The new one is much lower profile, metal. So it's much more stable.
Yeah.
And so if you have a basket on the bike, with the light being lower profile, you have less chance to actually damage that.
And you've still got the kind of tool-free adjustable stem treatment going on.
And while you're up there, go ahead and grab those grips.
So give that, these look like a nice ergonomic
grips.
Locking, right? So they're not going to spin. You still got your twist throttle right there. I love that. And the display, I noticed this is a very similar to the older one, but
exactly the same display, but the buttons are a more positive feel button.
Yeah, a little click.
Got rid of the rubber, so sometimes you do have a little bit of UV breakdown on the buttons.
You can see a little bit of yellowing and stuff.
Yep. So it's a much more positive feel.
A question for you: is this kind of backwards compatible? So if someone has the older model and loses or breaks the display, can they upgrade to this?
Absolutely. Yep. Pops right in there, you're good to go.
Sweet. Are the batteries still kind of back? A lot of this. We had the Neo a long time ago. Then we had the Evo, and this is kind of still the Evo line where the battery is chargeable on the bike. I think in some cases. Yeah, okay. I was like, this is the only complaint I have about the setup on some of these bikes sometimes is you got to be careful with charging, because if you accidentally push those pedals,
absolutely.
double check.
Up. Yep.
Yeah. Cool,
Be
cool.
careful you don't snap that off. There are some improvements we made to the battery itself. So the production batteries are no longer a two-piece kind of plastic construction like a clamshell.
Yeah.
We've gone to an extruded aluminum construction. So it's a straight aluminum construction with a battery that slides in.
Huh.
So it's going to be a little stronger, a little more resistant to denting, and then also, vents heat better.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really nice.
The weight of these has always been, I think, pretty impressive because it's all integrated, good weight distribution, kept low and stuff. Is there any change on weight with the aluminum casing on the battery?
Yeah, no, really won't impact
Very
weight.
comparable.
Yeah, very comparable, but some of the benefits there is just a little bit more durable and also vents heat a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah,
Okay. Well, let's carry on, man.
So moving over to the trusty entry-level Easy Go line.
Yeah.
Biggest thing here on the Easy Go Street is we've repositioned it from a price standpoint to $11.99.
And were these the handlebars before? Real relaxed. $11.99 for
position.
Yeah, name brand e-bike. You guys have a really good warranty. I don't know if it's
still 5 years on the frame and the motor, and 2 years on the battery.
That's spectacular, man. That's
so
really good.
At this price point, not only do you have the great warranty and the benefit of the eMotion brand, but it is that integrated torque sensor system. So it's a really elegant
the same
delivery
thing.
for that price point.
TMM4 on those, right?
Yep. Versus
Beautiful.
some of the less expensive bikes having that speed sensor driven setup.
It's the Easy Go stuff. Okay, so we're on Evo Easy Go.
Yep.
Where are we going next?
Just take one quick step right here to the race. Exactly the same bike as last year, except for we've gone from a 6-amp battery to a 7-amp hour battery.
Hey,
so small bump,
another
but
little
still
boost.
A little bump. Yep.
What cells do you guys use? Is that something you talk about?
We don't with this battery, but we could get that information for you.
You've got the good warranty and stuff, and I sometimes in the past it's like, oh, Samsung, or that.
Yeah, it's all Samsung in the Evo stuff, and I'm just actually not quite sure which battery we use internally.
Well, I appreciate that you don't misspeak versus that high quality stuff on that. I'm assuming it passes over to some
I'm sure
extent.
it's very, very similar, and we can certainly find out information for you.
Cool.
And then we have small detail, but this had our corporate BH head badge in the past. We've now given it the eMotion branding.
That's one of the areas that you guys have always, I think with that bike in particular, it's like there's not a lot of branding going on, right? It's sleek. It kind of looks like your city bike. The battery blends right in. Even the motor's really compact, so you're very stealth with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this bike is 34 pounds with the battery. And the nice thing about the battery, because the battery is such a lightweight battery, around 5 pounds, even without the battery on it, it's still a fully functional traditional bike.
You probably only have a few extra pounds with the motor, and it freewheels, so there's no drag.
Get in there, and it looks like a seat bag. So again, the bike that doesn't look like one, you carry that.
I like that.
Throughout.
Yeah.
And last but not least, in Easy Go line, the Volt. Basically the same exact bike last year. We bumped it up to the 7-amp hour battery. We got a new rack on the back to give you a little more expanded options for cargo. Other than that, it's just a very nice, very diminutive, small profile folder.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool, man.
Let's head over and talk about some other stuff we got going on here.
Oh, these are rad looking.
Yeah, so on the Evo 29er, so this is a bike at $2,999. We are speccing this in a large size only, so when you look at the 29-inch wheels with a large frame, it really fits that rider that's 6 foot plus.
Taller, yeah.
Yep. And the same offering in the battery, the 10.5 amp hour, so we're 500 watt hours here. The newer motor with the thru-axle. So this is just a very, very nice package, offering you a lot of value at the price point for that entry-level sort of mountain rider or that more durable city use around town.
We mentioned before the motor was upgraded, so it's like the Dapu 500 watt internally geared, and that's across the line.
Yes, the Dapu motor throughout the whole system, but when we did the retooling, the new motor just is a little bit peppier. And it's noticeable. We've been getting a lot of great feedback from the test track.
It's a really good, I think, I noticed that you have like the rack bosses and stuff, and a lot of times with hardtails like this, I use it to get to work, and then maybe I'll cut the trail on the way to work, and then on the weekend I'll take it out. It's just a good kind of all-around platform.
It's a great all-around bike. And we do carry the rack mounts throughout on this frame, so you can easily put a rack on here, and it's a great commuter bike, utilizing a 29-inch wheel and a less aggressive knobby profile, so it's still fast on the road.
Why don't you have bottle cage bosses? Like right there, that's the one thing. I keep looking at the battery. I'm like, where can we squeeze it?
We've got some spray-ons for water bottles on the E-Z-Go stuff.
Yeah, more of the city stuff.
Yeah, and there's a couple companies out there that do make, you know, brackets that you can easily mount a water bottle.
I think Topeak has a really good.
Yeah.
There are solutions. A lot of times I'm like, oh, behind the saddle. If you're actually going off road, you have a backpack.
Yeah, you're gonna have your Camelback like you're rocking there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be all good. So
if we jump to this one, then this is
the
much
brand new
smaller.
model. This is the 27.5 Evo Pro.
Okay.
This is $100 more, and it is packed with value for only $100. You get our new center mount console.
Okay.
And the way this really works is an extension off the existing mount.
Removable too, and that's
yeah.
removable. What's
so you
that?
got the traditional mount, and it's got a slave cable. It's bringing it over to the center mount display.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see. So you could potentially use this with the other display.
Yep, absolutely.
It's pretty
over here and
pretty
there,
nice.
Get that to pop on there.
You got the locking grips,
lock-on
hydraulic
grips.
disc
Got the
brakes.
Fox, you know, Fox 32 fork with lockout, air fork, preload, and rebound damping. Of course, the XT rear derailleur, but this bumps up 12 amp hours. This is a 600 watt-hour bike.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely some more range.
So for $100 more,
yeah.
I mean, it's a really value-packed operation.
Another way to look at it, I mean, this is 27.5.
Yep.
They're both in racks, and you know, if you look at the standover height, it gets a little bit higher because of the 29ers, but that bike seems so much taller to me in the front. I don't know if the travel looks similar. Maybe it's just the positioning. You were talking about larger, taller riders. If you're 6'2", this has some extra features, but you know, does this come in multiple sizes, or is this just
this bike is only going to be in a medium?
Okay.
And this is a large.
It's kind of a fit thing too, is what I'm saying.
It's a fit thing. It's going to drive it. If you're 6'2", even extending this with a 100 to 110 millimeter stem, you know, yeah, you could fit it, but it's really a bit small if you're on that 6'2" size.
Well, it's kind of neat to have, I guess, body types, you know, optimization.
It also helps our dealers not having to stock a ton of extra SKUs.
Or running out of like the most popular one.
And it seems to always happen, you know. On a busy Saturday, sold out of that bike. So great feedback on the color, the treatment on this bike. One of the things we hear a lot from our dealers and our consumers, hey, we love the classic colors. You're known for your really nice, well put together color schemes. But we were looking for something a little more pop. So we went ahead and brought out the red and green here, and then the black, matte black with gloss back and sort of an orange red. So it's really, really pretty.
And you're not going to get hit by a car maybe quite as easily.
Safety
a little bit of visibility upgrade.
Absolutely. Yep. So then coming over to the Revo Diamond Wave. So this is the first introductory model that we're bringing, the Brose motor, which is another German motor manufacturer. Very, very large motor company out of Germany. Really from the automotive sector originally. They're known for motors that operate your seats in your cars or your window mirrors. But they have been doing their center drive motor for a long, long time. And what's great about this motor in particular is it is a belt-driven motor internally, so versus a gear-driven motor like some of the other competitors out there. The big benefit there is it's a hair lighter and a lot quieter with the carbon belt on the inside.
Even a little smoother. I've heard that it can kind of dampen some of the... I mean, there is still like a magnetically powered motor that's spinning quickly, and then they have to downstep it to get the torque and the power, and somewhere in there's a belt transferring some of the power. So
exactly.
Yeah, it is quiet. It's a really nice system.
Beautiful bike, very, very quiet, very smooth.
And look at this chain cover too.
Yeah, the chain glider is fantastic because it's a fully encased chain guard, even on the back side of the front chain wheel, which you don't see a whole lot. I mean, a lot of times people will give you this full chain guard, but the inside of those teeth on that front chain wheel are visible. So we're providing that to really protect the pants for the commuter. It's an 8-speed Nexus internal hub.
Yeah.
So
shift at standstill.
Shift, yes, it's right up on the grip.
Don't have to worry about shift sensing quite as much because there's no derailleur and the chain's not bouncing around. Don't have to worry about chipping your chain stays or anything.
Absolutely, yep. So you've got speed, torque, and
same aluminum fender back here. Does this one have a front fender or just take it off?
Yeah, it'll have front fender is just not on here.
And look at that! You guys are going for the hydraulic linear pull brakes.
Hydraulics on this one.
Why versus a disc brake? Just educate me. I don't know as much about those.
This really kind of came straight from our the European spec. It's a nice clean mount internally. So. With the Nexus and also with the generator hub for the battery, so it's just kind of a different approach to give our riders another option. That's interesting because it looks like there might be room, but you start to squeeze a lot of stuff on here if you did disc brakes. Yeah, it's certainly not an issue of that. It's more or less giving other options that are out there. Magura's been making brakes for a long, long time. This hydraulic rim brake is cantilever style brake is a very, very popular option in Europe. So.
Also, okay, so I see it's got the rack and it's sort of built around the fender a little bit. But then you've got extra bosses right here. Was that just for other types of brakes potentially,
yep,
or other types
racks.
of racks?
If you don't want to have a fender mount rack, you know, you can actually use a traditional mount rack.
Customize a little bit.
Yep, give you some options there on the way you might want to accessorize.
Thanks for the details. Zoom in and you're like, wow, what does all that mean? What's going on?
Stuff like going on. This is just a little cable guide, just pre-production, so there'd be an actual zip tie there holding that in place.
Okay. Well, let's keep it going, man. Yeah. I see. Look at this row of bikes.
Cool yeah. So this bike here is actually a 2016 bike out of the European line that we brought in really just for the test track.
Oh, okay.
But this bike right here is the Lynx.
Nice.
Lynx 4.8. This will be an inline bike for us this year.
Heard about this.
Yep.
Got the full suspension Broza.
Utilizing the Broza. And you're getting, the 16 amp hour battery on this, so a lot of power, 250 watt in the motor, so the range is great, a lot of low end power. It's a great bike. But most importantly, what you're seeing here is our Lynx split pivot rear suspension.
Split pivot right here, huh?
So this is a suspension design that's been proven on our traditional bike line. World Cup races. It's used by several other high-end traditional mountain bike manufacturers. And really, the concept here is it isolates your forces. So, having your pivot here, you're looking at an isolated pedal force, isolated brake forces with dramatically reduced brake jack.
What does brake jack mean?
Brake jack is a term that is basically when you're hitting the brakes and you have the feeling of your pedals stopping, sort of jacking your pedals because you've applied brakes, the brake. This basically virtually eliminates that, so it's a fantastic system. Cartridge bearings throughout, very, very high performance. This bike's at $43.99, one of the best options in a real performance mountain bike, center drive, available in the e-bike industry today.
Is this a replacement then for like the Evo jumper? Is that kind of done?
Yep, the jumpers are gone. This will be the...
Well, with the mid-drive, it makes a lot of sense versus the unsprung weight thing.
Exactly.
And, a lot more climbing power. I think these are, 70 Newton meters?
I think it's right where it's at.
It's quite a lot. Yeah, good power.
So we also had the Bosch bike, the Xenion jumper too.
The Xenion, with the Bosch.
For 2016. And so, this year we're going with the Broza for the high end. We've got a long travel version of this bike coming out. Actually, you see it in the picture.
More like an enduro kind of thing?
So it's a, that 6-inch bike. So it'll be the 4.8 and 6-inch, so you have kind of that all-mountain and enduro options.
Okay.
We're extremely excited about this bike.
Me too, man.
For the folks that are out there looking for a legit high-performance e-mountain bike to go out and just, rip through the rock fields, this is your option right here. You
know a lot about the technical stuff. I appreciate that. And one area that I'm trying to figure out, I've seen a couple bikes out there that have this darker colored extra large sprocket in the rear. Why is that? Some extra coating or what's going on?
So when you're obviously a lot of load, when you're really grinding in your gears and you're crawling up the mountains and really putting the hammer down. And there's actually quite a few other options aftermarket. You can go even bigger from 42 and up to really increase your gear range. Another nice thing, speaking of gearing, with the Broza system, because the Q factor is so tight on this bike, you can actually run it single speed, single chainring front option, double chainring, or a triple.
Whoa.
So the direct mount, you can actually put a front derailleur on this bike, and if you want to add additional chain rings, you can actually expand your
Q factor, meaning that this isn't like 100 millimeter wide bottom bracket.
It's nice and tight, like a traditional bike.
Yeah. Yep. The e-bike that doesn't look like one. Again,
exactly.
We're back with that.
Yeah, so we're quite proud of that. I mean, being a 107-year-old bicycle company, we really approach things from a bicycle efficiency and performance perspective first.
Yeah.
So they need
and
to
you
ride
still
those
have
bikes.
regular bicycles.
Yep,
BH in Europe, you're saying?
We are one of the largest bike companies on the planet, actually. So,
since 1909. So what else do we have around here?
7 years. So that's, of course, got the new center mount console as well.
New center mount console. I like that because, you don't have to take your hands off. You can remove the display. Sometimes, I haven't actually done this. I'm not super hardcore, but people who are bombing it and they're like, well, I might fall. They can take your display off and you can coast down. A lot of times when you're just coasting, you don't need the display on there. I see the tapered head tube. I also noticed you got a little bit of a bend in the bars and creates maybe a little bit of protection for that display.
Yeah, and also, it increased the over with the reduced top tube angle as well.
I like that. Yeah, the angle right there.
Yep, and that's so we're really excited about 34 mil, Fox rhythm fork. Fantastic, super stiff.
Yeah.
Back here in the back, sort of second to last bike through the tour today is the new Big Bud Pro.
Oh yeah.
And basically what we're looking at here is sort of the trail version of our all-wheel drive bike, and by that I mean
you're still going to offer that?
Yep.
You got the two-wheel drive one.
You got the all-wheel drive, and so 2 fat bikes in line this year.
Wow.
So you've got the Barossa motor, but we're also giving you the elegance and then brute force of that RockShox Bluto fork.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
A lot of comfort there.
Yeah,
and for a hardtail, again, the Boss is on the back. Thank you.
Yep.
You know, maybe you live somewhere where it snows, or you got to cut across the sand at the beach, and you want to be able to commute with something. That would be your bike.
Yeah.
Like, that's
plenty of rack options for that. You know, utilizing everything on the traditional fat bike scene.
Yeah.
And also wheels. You know, so we're able to, with the center mount, you can keep your wheels out. Wheel options are wide open here, so you don't have to you're not limited to the stock wheels on this bike because of the center mount. So.
Yeah. What's the price on this one?
This bike will be at $39.99.
Okay.
So it's a $500 bump from the traditional all-wheel drive big bike we have. But I think for the step up, giving you the center drive motor and the RockShox real brand Bluto fork, it's a good value.
Good stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Greg. Where do people go to learn more about this stuff? What's your website?
Come on over to HubbardEmotionUSA.com and check us on out.
Check out your dealers. This is one of the brands that has a lot of companies. You know,
we're very dealer centric, so we want to make sure our customers are taken care of by good quality dealers. Going to not only help them with the sale, get them on the right bike, but take care of them for all their needs after the purchase.
Excellent, man. Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Have a good show.
Great day. Bye.
Sweet.